Good morning, and welcome to All Real Estate Some of the Time. My name is Melissa Boney, and I'm here with my daughter Samantha and my sister Jen.
We're dropping some frames.
And we're dropping some frames.
What does that mean?
I don't really know what that means. Sam is doing some stuff here that is...
we don't know what she's doing, but
we don't know what she's doing. But she's doing something. She's techie, and we're not. Are we even live, Sam?
we're live. But we're like, look at how we're like, watch. See how it's like really slow and like kind of.
I see.
Like typically here, it should copy our movements.
I see. Greg, we're dropping some frames.
Do you sound
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know either. It means that it's not capturing all the frames. So as I'm moving, it's not capturing all of them, right? So it's called dropping frames.
So it sees you here, and then here, like it's a ghost, like you move, like Anyway, here we are.
Who are we?
I'm Melissa Boney.
Who am I? Who are you? What are we doing here?
Start over. Ready? Take two.
Take two.
So we're here every week, pretty much, talking about real estate. We've been here since
About a year.
Yeah, about a year. But we're going to be launching a YouTube channel. So we thought we would just reintroduce and make it so that...
Is this going to be the first YouTube? We have a YouTube channel. So I'll delete that channel and I guess delete the videos that are on there and I guess make this the first video.
Ooh. Good morning.
Good morning. No one told me that. I would have done my makeup.
Yeah.
It's on. It would have to be on your side because the volume says. Well, this could help. It might help.
Hey, you know what, Grandma? Maybe I don't like that one's in my face though.
It has to pick you up, so you want to be. You kind of have to talk loud because you want it in the yellow.
This is what I would say.
Yellow?
Grandma,
that would be like this.
No.
Grandma, get some hearing aids.
That was mean.
No, I've talked to her about it. I'm like, she's like,
the last
her
one.
TVs when you walk into her house are so loud. When you walk in the house, like they're like, ah, and you're like, ooh.
Maybe she doesn't want to hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's a trick. Is that what you're saying? It's a trick that
I think this one was on us. I didn't realize the microphone was behind the camera, so behind the laptop, probably not picking up very many sounds.
That's because if you've never been with us before, Sam comes in like 30 seconds before, and she's the techie.
It's the first time I've come in 30 seconds before in a long time.
She's our technical engineer.
I wanted to call in sick, and apparently that's not an option.
It's not. I called in sick once and I got yelled at.
You weren't sick. You were hungover. That is self-inflicted. We're not the same. Don't you put us in the same category.
I felt terrible.
She says, "I'm so sorry. I'm not feeling well." I sort of knew that might happen when I was with her the night before.
It hasn't happened before.
Yes, I sort of knew that was going to happen. Anyway, we're here every week. We started doing these during COVID when we were
being creative.
We were being creative, and we live very close to each other. Mm-hmm. We were
next door,
quarantined, so we started doing videos of like things that we thought people might be interested in, which is what we do, real estate. So we thought you might be interested in real estate, but who knows? How did we get started? Well, we got started a long time ago. What was it, like 6 years ago?
I was still in college.
She was still in college. I think it was 6 years. 2015. We got started in 2015.
Oh, I was in college too.
Wow.
That's only because you got started late. She actually went to college right after high school.
Oh, so did I.
And so we've been in real estate. We kind of had a journey. We started in real estate. My husband and I read this book, and we're like, "Ooh, we could do that. That would be so easy." That'd be so easy. I think I could do that, right?
Well, you can do it, but it wasn't easy.
You can do it, but it wasn't as easy as we thought it was going to be. So we did start off with the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is really funny because all of us read it. All of us read the book, except you. I bought you the book. Have you read it yet?
Yes,
Lies. That's a lie.
It is a great book.
It is a great book.
If you haven't read it?
Yes.
Lie. That's a liar.
Tell us something about it.
So you're a poor guy, and you want to become a rich guy.
That is not.
It's called Rich Dad Poor Dad. Why would you be both guys?
Okay. Because you want to progress. So your dad, one dad was poor, and your stepdad was rich.
They're not even his real dad.
Just go with me here.
No, that's not how the book goes at all. That's
No,
not.
it's
That
not.
is not at all.
Of course
how the,
it's not.
Of course it's not, because she didn't read it. Although
Her
she
Cliff
has
Notes she
it
bought
in-
on the.
No, she
She
didn't
bought it
read.
from
She
Goodwill.
didn't read the Cliff Notes. I bought her the book. The book is at her house
I have it.
on her dresser.
I have the book as well, and Kaiser didn't like it, so he tore off the front cover
Oh,
of the first
no.
3 pages.
Really?
Yeah, no, really. I had it in like a stack on my where was it? On my table, and Kaiser just decided he didn't like that book. So
He liked it.
He
thought
took
was
it
tasty.
off the table. He ripped off the front cover in like 3 pages.
He was hinting
I was
to
like,
you.
"Are you okay?"
Hinting to you that you should read it again.
Yeah, except that I'm missing the first 3 pages.
I have them. And that's what
Wasn't
you know.
that
What?
way?
That's where you missed the part about the dad being rich and the stepdad being poor. Rich dad, poor dad. Which
Did
dad does
Dad
he
buy
want to be
them
with?
in German on accident?
Yes, so we bought it for our friends, the Hansons, and he had it delivered, and they were in Germany. So Greg has it delivered over there to them, and they're like, we were in Germany, but we don't read in German. So Greg's always looking for a deal. It was like a discounted book because it was in German.
Did you read it?
No,
you try
I
to read
didn't
it?
even try. I thought it was really funny that Greg was trying to get a bargain. Like, he didn't just order the book, right? He's like looking for the
It's only
cheapest
like
price.
a $15 book anyway. It's
Yeah,
not
and
like
so
it's
he
anything
got it.
crazy.
He got it for $3.
I was like, I think
He
you
got it
paid $3
yeah,
for mine.
He got it for €3. But it's in German, so they couldn't.
But I was just trying to share that you guys speak German, so
Yeah.
that's why I was wondering why.
Yeah, we do. We live there.
If-
So anyway, we got started. I was a math teacher. She was in school. Greg was in the military, and we got into this journey of real estate.
I was in Arizona.
She was in Arizona. She just joined later, right? So we've been on this path, and we started out where we watched all those shows. And
The Property Brothers?
we were gonna flip a house in 90 minutes and make $90,000. It was 90 for 90, right? Right? Look at Sam's face.
Is that was your goals?
Yeah, 90 minutes, $90,000. That's what.
We were really
You-
thinking like it would take like 3 to 6 months
Yeah.
for a full renovation.
90 days.
And then we'll just show
90.
up with like all this money afterwards. We'll just be rolling in cash.
Everybody's gonna get paid.
Everyone.
Everybody.
30,000 for you, 30,000 for you. And we're like, hey, can I borrow 30,000?
Yeah, seriously. It was an eye opener, and it started with like hiring someone. So we got a property, and then we were like, oh, we had been reading books, and we joined investment groups, and we knew all about like what to do and how to hire somebody. I was a math teacher. I never hired anybody before, except a babysitter. I did hire a babysitter one time, but I had never hired like a person. I had a contract. I had like, give me all your tax stuff. You go out there and you're looking for them, and they're very few and far between. Like good ones, like a good contractor, and the ones that you want, you can't afford. Right, so the ones that you really want to do the work and that know what a 90-degree angle is are really expensive. Those guys were out of our price range. So we picked the cheapest, not the cheapest. We're like, oh well, this guy's way cheaper. Let's pick the middle. The middle is still bad.
What's our saying? You can do it cheap,
Yeah, quick.
or well done.
Yeah.
And you get picked 2.
Yeah, so we definitely found that. Wait, so then you found out there's a difference between knowing the path and that's true.
What?
She said, Linda said you found out the difference between knowing the path and walking the path, and I definitely thought I knew the path, but
She was
when I was
crawling the path as
when
she
I
was
was
getting
walking
knocked
it,
down.
there were like lions and tigers attacking me,
And
right?
bears. Oh my!
Yeah, it was funny because Rebecca and I, my other daughter and I, we would.
She pointed at me when she said
Rebecca,
Rebecca.
my other daughter, not this one, the other daughter, and I were working in it full time, and it was a hard work. We hired some people to do a job, and we would go to the house, and they would not be there. You know how frustrating that is? You go there at 10 o'clock in the morning, and there's nobody there
And you
working.
drive how far to get there?
And we drove 2 hours to get there. So our first couple of houses were in Baltimore, which is a couple hours away from us. And the contractors would not be there working. There would be no work that had been done. You call them up, like, where are you? They're like, we need more money. And you're like, what? I just gave you money. I don't see any work. Anyway, so we started in the flipping realm. That's where the business started, in the flipping realm. And in the meantime, we were kind of looking out for rental properties because we knew that's where we wanted to be. So we started acquiring some rental properties. And lo and behold, when people are selling you a rental property, they lie. Everybody pays. I'm sorry. My Sam and I got vaccines yesterday, and both of our arms are really sore. I'm sorry. You bumped into my arm too, and I was like, "Bah!"
You were laughing. You're like, I was like,
yeah.
what?
I'm sorry. Anyway, we bought some rental properties, and when we bought them, the previous landlord said, "Oh, these properties, they're so good. They're so everybody pays rent on time. You don't need it. We just did all these renovations," and then you find out that's not true.
They don't pay.
They don't pay. We've evicted a lot of people, and then had to bring in new tenants, and now we have a pretty good lot, right? We have a pretty good lot
For the most part.
For the most part, we have.
There's a couple that gotta go.
Yeah, there's a couple that we have, but it's quarantine. I mean, it's COVID, so it's
Yeah, but
hard.
that was a long learning curve too, because you didn't want to evict anybody because you had soft,
We have
gentle
given
heart.
people so many chances.
chances.
And that's like, Dad's like, you guys can't do that. Because one lady, I mean, she's been in there for so long, and then they call you with a sob story and how they're going to pay rent, and you're like, okay. And they have kids and, like, families, and you're like, it's hard to, like, separate, like, how you're feeling and not wanting to put, like, a family on the streets versus, like, being like, okay, well, we're paying the mortgage if they don't pay the rent no matter what.
So I think some people have it kind of, they might not realize that if you don't pay your rent, then the person that owns the building might not be able to pay the mortgage.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like a trickle down.
Yeah. So
It's a
there
trickle-down.
is this, feeling of, like, all of these landlords are just, like, rolling in the money, and it's really easy for them to go ahead and pay their mortgage right now, or maybe not realizing that they have a mortgage. So most landlords have a mortgage on the house that they're renting out. So they're not just living there. They don't just own it free and clear without any mortgage on it and just have to pay the taxes on it. They actually have to pay a mortgage as well. And so let's just say the mortgage is $1,000 and you're only collecting $1,200 in rent. That's a big chunk to make up. That $200 a lot of times goes to repairs and
by the end of the year, I think the properties that we have where we only have like a $200, maybe even $300 margin, we make nothing off it by the end of the year. Between repairs, if they have pest control, if they have a refrigerator break or anything break at all in the year, all that profit is gone.
Right, so those are more like long-term investments, right? So they're paying down the mortgage, so later they'll reap the benefit.
And we don't want
now.
them. We don't really want a single-family home. In long term, we want to kind of sell them off and get lots of our duplexes, fourplexes, our sixplex down in Suffolk. Those are really our big money makers.
Right.
The ones that are the hardest for us to pay are single-family homes, where it's just them being responsible for a mortgage. Because in our fourplex, if one person doesn't pay, we can still pretty much cover it using the other rents, and we're not paying anything out of pocket.
Right.
So those are the properties that we really, as investors, love.
Yeah, so we've sort of focused on going into that realm. So we've kind of gone through the whole series of real estate. Real estate. We started as flippers. We started as flippers. We went into being landlords, right? And then we thought, well, we have a couple of multi-family homes that the margin is better than the single-family homes, so I think we're running into that. And then we also went into, initially we were having someone buy and sell our own houses for us. So we initially were using real estate agents to buy and sell our own houses, and then I got my license and Rebecca got her license, so we began buying and selling our own houses. And then friends and family were like, hey, we're thinking about moving, we're thinking about, buying a house. And then it became kind of like a circle of influence that we started getting a little bigger and with our purchasing ability for other people. So we started learning how to be a real estate agent.
And that's kind of where we're at, like, right now. And we're about to do the big project that you guys have seen or might have seen up in Baltimore, where we're going to turn that really pretty single-family home into a really beautiful duplex. So hopefully, if that goes well, we'll have a contractor and maybe we can get back into the flipping realm. But
did you see my face? Did you see my face?
But in the meantime, like that's really been our only big project. We have Franco, our contractor, our favorite contractor, out there just working on some of our properties, but we haven't done any like full renovations in
No, in
a
a long time.
Yeah, probably a couple years.
Actually, it's really funny because we just finished up like our last really full renovation probably about a year ago, right? And we got it rented. It might be just a little.
I think it has to be over a year.
Just a little over a year ago. Luzerne was just over a little over a year ago, and I just got it refinanced. You know, with the mortgage, so I wasn't paying ridiculous interest rates on it. I just felt like such a sense of relief, like, oh, finally, like I finally feel like I've caught up with myself. We bought a lot of properties really quickly, and a lot of them needed renovations that we were like, oh my gosh, you know, just trying to get ourselves caught up and not having to fork out so much money every month and just paying for these expenditures. I mean, basically. So we started this just because we were like, well, hey, you know what? We've had a lot of experience in real estate, and we get asked questions all the time. Like, I actually just had someone call me the other day who's a friend of mine and was like, hey, I just wanted to talk to you about the market. Like, what do you think? Blah, blah, blah. Should I sell? Should I, we're thinking about buying. And I was like, oh, I just chatted with them. And that's sort of how we got this going, is that we get a lot of questions about everything because people see those shows on TV and they think it's really, that easy, and it really is not.
It's not.
It really is a lot of work. It really, they call it active income because you are actively participating in making the income.
And if you're not actively participating, you are losing income.
Yeah. So
you have to be so quick and fast, and time is money.
And you got to keep people moving, right? You got to keep things going.
Yeah, people aren't motivated, right? Because for them, the longer they sit there, the more they're getting paid.
Yeah.
The longer they sit there, the more we're paying.
Yeah.
So it's a whole
Makes
different.
sense.
It's
They're motivated by riding the clock.
And I was talking about you the other day with, I think it was with you. Well, I think I was talking about you. No, I think I was just talking to Sam about you. Remember, I was like, we were driving in the car.
Sam.
Not just Sam. I was talking to Sam about you about what you wanted to do. I remember when I first got into real estate, you're like, I really wanted to be into real estate. Why?
I wanted to look at people's houses.
Is that really why?
I just really, I like houses, and and I watched The Property Brothers, and I watched either, I don't know what it was called, but one person renovated part of their house, and the other realtor
went and looked for another
new one. So then they had to choose.
What's that show called?
It's like a guy and a girl, right? And they battle or whatever.
And they try and see, like, can they make them their dream house, or are they
going to buy a new house?
I love those shows because they're like, it's like, this guy is a professional butterfly catcher, budget $1 million. I'm like, what?
How do you get that gig?
Stay-at-home mom, butterfly catcher, $1 million budget. And I was like, I can get a butterfly.
Is it everything you thought it was going to be?
It's a little more work. But it is cool, especially the one up in Baltimore, up by Franco's house. Because you walk in that one, and we did a tour of it, so you can go back and look and see if you want to look at the house. But it is a disaster. I mean, it is like condemnable. It looks like to me, right? But I'm excited to see
the vision.
Yeah, I'm excited to see when it's all.
Right now, it's sitting in the county waiting for permits. So because of COVID, permits are backed up. So we will be going up there and doing some live shots of it. We're excited. We have the contractor. We're a little smarter now. We have the contractor in place. We had drawings drawn up for the house to create it into a duplex. It's a single family home right now. We're going to create a 3-bedroom, 2-bath on the main floor, and then upstairs is going to be a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. And so we're excited about seeing that kind of come to fruition because we've had that property since 2016. It sits on a parcel with two other rentals. So we're just holding off. We're like, let's get everything kind of situated before we get going on that one. But yeah, I'm excited about that one. What about you? Did you think when you were in college and Dad and I were in this venture, did you think you were going to be here?
Yeah, I remember I wanted to quit my job when I started.
She did want to quit her job.
I graduated with a civil engineering degree, and what I thought would happen is that I would spend some time being an engineer, and then when the business could support it, I would stop being an engineer and I would start working as a general contractor full-time for the business.
Well, you jumped in a little early.
Actually, remember I stopped being an engineer after like 3 months, and I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever done in my whole life.
It's the worst $100,000 ever spent on an education.
Yeah, it was terribly boring. And then I went and became a general contractor, but we did like massive apartment buildings. But that was a ton of fun. But I still always knew, like, I mean, I graduated in 2017, and we went to 2017's Ignite, right?
Yeah, so it was like an investor.
It was a big investor thing. But I remember I was sitting there and I was like, I want to quit my job. And they're like, you just got a job. And I was like, but I want to quit it. And I want to work in the business. They're like, please don't do that. And so then I spent a couple of years working. I worked for CBG for I think almost 3 years. Right?
I don't know.
Yeah, almost 3 years. And with COVID, got laid off. And I then had a discussion with Melissa. And I was like, I don't want to go get another job. I don't want to work with anyone else. Like, I want to work in this business, and so now I work full-time, mostly doing all of the rentals. So when she says that our rentals are great, it's questionable, but they're paying.
I mean, I honestly thought it would be a lot worse with COVID. I thought it would be, and we've had some tenants who have struggled for sure, but I really was thinking when COVID first hit, I was like, and those numbers started creeping up, and people and things were shutting down, and then the government shut down. I was like, oh my gosh! Like, I really thought things were gonna take a turn for the worst. For us. We have mortgages on those houses, right? We have to pay the mortgage on those houses, and
some of them aren't held by banks. So like, you can forbear some of you can forbear some of your loans, but some of them are held by friends and just people that we bought properties from, and they don't take forbearances. Yeah. They take money.
Yeah.
So,
and they might be in the same situation too. That a lot of people think of these big banks like they can't fail, right? But when we're borrowing money from like a person who is also relying on our money to pay their bills, right? Then it becomes like this vicious circle. So we have
been very lucky.
Very, very lucky for the people to continue to pay, and we might just be breaking even right now.
Yeah.
Or in the past, but it's, everybody's been paid.
Right.
Everybody's been paid.
So. Yeah, it's important to remember that, like this, we spend a lot of, she and my dad have spent a ton of money when the business first started. Like, it was not, and until recently, like, we always, our big phrase whenever we have, like, business meetings is, like, see the light at the end of the tunnel. We've been saying it for years. But at the end of the day, when we started, they were paying a ton of money out of pocket. And fortunately for us, Dad made enough money to support it. But, I mean, at the beginning, like, it was crazy the amount of support that you needed in order to just carry it to the next level.
And that's why they say, like, a lot of businesses fail within the first year, right? So I don't know what the percentage is. Within 5 years, there's another number that businesses fail. And for us, we're at year 6. We made it through year 6. So, but yeah, I mean, there were a lot of paths that we could have just said, this is really too hard to do. Like, it's so much time, so much money.
And I think Dad wanted her to many times, right?
It still does.
It's super stressful, and so it's hard to, like, he doesn't want to see her stressed. He loves her, and he wants her to see her happy and hanging out because they've worked hard their whole life. She had a baby when she was 18, so now
you don't have to tell that.
She has worked her whole life. Your story is nothing to be ashamed of. You've done amazing.
You're throwing a lot of stuff out there. Hey, just kidding.
She's done amazing things for somebody that started with nothing. Right? Her and my dad started with nothing, and the fact that they're here, she could write a whole book on it. And I think it's amazing. So I think it's weird.
Learn German on the way.
And learn German on the way. Ow! I bumped into you.
I didn't even move. You didn't touch me. Look at this. I'm like this. So if she leans this way, it's not going to touch my arm.
Yeah, I have nothing but respect for what you've done. So it's weird to me that you are embarrassed about the kid thing. That would be a point of pride for me because of where you are now.
It's not embarrassing. It's just personal.
It's like, and
I
don't recommend it.
I don't like.
I don't want to promote it.
That's right, and I don't like people knowing how old I was when I had Curtis for the opposite reason.
Yeah.
I was 29.
Yes, and she stayed 29 for the next 10
She
years.
was 26 for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, she was.
It was a good year.
Yeah. Years.
It's
They were good years.
26 part 8.
Yeah, so we're excited. So,
yeah.
we're gonna kind of do like a full circle. We started on this on these videos just for kind of fun, not really. We started drinking a lot of mimosas when we were doing it.
Yeah.
We were.
Then Facebook told us we weren't allowed
And
to.
then it said, you know what? If you're gonna do real estate stuff, you can't do it with drinks. It did say that. It said you can't do it with
COVID.
drinks. Yeah, it was COVID, and we were drinking a
What
lot of
else do we do?
mimosas during the day. Like, what should we do today? Let's have a mimosa. Cheers, clink. Right. So we've pretty much done a full circle, and we thought, well, we're starting this YouTube channel back up. We thought it would be a good time to just kind of go back to the beginning and like what are people really interested in learning about. So we thought we would do like, maybe 1 month talk about
real estate, like buyers.
Yeah.
Like buyers. The next month we'll do like sellers. 1 month we'll do investors. The next month we'll do something else.
How to clean up your yard. We did that before.
We did do that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like what? And so we thought we would maybe just do this, kind of just go around and
we're gonna try and put a little more structure in it. That's I think what the big thing is putting structure in so that when you show up every week, you know what you're looking for. If there's something that you're really interested in,
Good luck with that.
if there's something you're really interested in, like in a certain topic, like during a buyer's month, just send us a message and be like, hey, I'd really like to learn about how to buy foreclosure. Or, what are the benefits to different types of loans and all those types of things. So any questions that you have, any like topic you want us to cover, make sure you send us a message and we would love to cover it for you. We are a wealth of knowledge and we would...
I don't know if I'd go with wealth. I would go with we're knowledge-ish.
You have a lot of knowledge.
You do a wealth of knowledge.
And
if I don't have it, we can find it.
And if you need a real estate agent, are we going to start adding that back in? I don't think we've done that in a long time. And if you need a real estate agent, call Melissa at 540-300-7777.
Yeah. You do know this area if you're in Virginia. And if
We
you're
do know
outside of
this
Virginia, she has friends. She can give you a referral to somebody.
I know people.
She knows people.
I winked.
That was
I did this.
weird. That wasn't even a good wink. It's a whole face wink.
That's like you have to know this guy. I can't even
You
think.
can't even.
Anyways.
All right,
I'm gonna practice
we're long here, so
right.
let's get out of here.
Yeah. All right.
We got soccer to do.
Bye,
All right, you guys have a great week.